Hi there, my name is Kathy Anderson, and I wanted to do a short video on what I have learned this summer, which has been a very fast lesson for me. Before this summer, I never did much gardening, but this year I learned how to garden, and I learned how to garden through muscle testing and dowsing. So one of the first things I learned was to pay attention to the visual cues that I was getting from the universe. I thought I was getting them from the Holy Spirit, but I was getting them from the Devas. The Devas are the creators of the gardens. And if you want to have a beautiful, balanced, vital garden, you need to listen to what they're saying. There's a creative spirit for each plant, and there's a creative spirit over the entire garden. The job of the nature spirits is to balance everything. You think you want a garden, they just want balance. They don't care what it looks like. You decide what you want it to look like, and then you ask them how. So, for instance, I said I wanted a fairy garden. They started to show me how I needed to start it. So I agreed to get one of each flower, and they would show me over the winter how they wintered, because I didn't believe that they would grow, because this area has never had anything growing out here but soil and dead leaves. So as you can see now, there's grass growing out here. There are flowers still in bloom in late November. There are still flowers. There's a Mexican sunflower back here that's just starting to lose its flowers and go to seed. There's another one there. There's snapdragon is still showing its flowers. The mugwort is still in good shape. This is just not seasonally possible in my mind in this area of the country in the Pacific Northwest. What I did was I just began to muscle test. So I would ask, is this an appropriate area for these flowers? And I would push down on my fingers and get a yes. And I would ask which flower at the nursery to buy. And then I would take my L rods and I would go through and map out the area and spread flour down wherever the area was, or use your garden hose, map out the area. What most people don't seem to understand is that there's energy forces that are not seen by the naked eye called vortexes or portals. And someone who does Feng Shui understands this. What they'll do is they'll look for trees that are twisted, or they'll look for ant piles or bee nests, and they'll know that those areas are very high energy and that most plants and flowers simply won't grow there. You don't know that. And so I didn't know that either, and I wondered why my gardens were not working right. They're all working right this year, not because I have any special fertilizer. It's because I started muscle testing and listening to what the Devas would say. There is a Deva of your broccoli, a Deva of your cauliflower, a Deva or Deva of your vegetable garden, over the whole garden. They know where they want it, and they know where they don't want it. There are also underground streams running underneath your property that you may or may not have, or may not know about. And so the other thing I learned was that the depressed areas of your lawn are areas where you can stand and release stress into. Those are natural areas. Leveling your lawn is the worst thing that you can do. So as we move forward into 5D, and as the earth moves into the new earth, these are things that we'll all be learning, co-creating with nature. And a really good book that I found was called The Peri Landra Workbook by Michelle Wright. It's quite a book to take on. It's a very thick workbook, but it narrows down to what I'm saying. She used muscle testing. She doesn't have problems with mice. She doesn't have problems with gophers, skunks, porcupines, or anything. She simply closes her eyes, just like you can, and just asks to speak to the mice, or whatever it is you're having a problem with, and tell them, you know, look, I don't want you eating my plants this winter. And they will make an agreement with you. For instance, you can say, look, I'll leave bird seed in this certain place if you agree not to eat my plants. So far that has worked like a dream. I don't buy mouse traps. I simply talk to the being or the being of the plant and ask it what it needs. And once you start doing this, you'll find out that you are hearing way more than you realize. You are unconsciously realizing that plant needs water, or it's not getting enough light. This is not logic. You're actually hearing this from the Deva of the plant. And so once you start tuning into this, once you tune into this, you'll find out that your gardens are lush and beautiful, and you can still have your garden what you need to do is say, look, I would like to have a purple garden over here. And then ask them how to go about it. There's 150 purple flowers. So ask them what purple flowers. And work together with the divas, or devas, however you want to pronounce it. And you'll find that your garden is lush and beautiful, and you won't have to fight with nature. It doesn't work when we fight with nature. Nature is our gift. Mother is our everything we have. She gives us everything we have. And so if you want beautiful lush flowers at the end of November, then you simply ask the diva what flower will bloom here, what flower will last through terrible winters, or whatever you want. Or I want a feathery flower, or orange and purple flowers. They will show you a picture, or you'll hear the name, or you'll see it at a nursery. It'll jump out at you at the nursery. So just to wrap it up, I wanted to make that really long, hard workbook very simple in muscle testing. If you want to know if you're getting a yes, press down on your fingers. Is this the right flower? I'm getting resistance. That means yes, this is the right flower. Should I get a bougainvillea and put it up here? No, bougainvillea doesn't grow up here. It grows in Florida. So it's very simple to do muscle testing. You can learn this. This is so simple. I have another video on YouTube teaching how to do muscle testing. If you want to check that out, it's under Energy Works. You can look under Demystifying Muscle Testing, and I have a class coming up called Demystifying Dowsing, Basic Dowsing, and I will do another class on Advanced Dowsing. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video, and I hope it's been informative for you, and it's really very simple. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.